Jason, what type of tone did Gafford set, earlier in the game with his aggressiveness around the basket?
Yeah, I thought he was great. Bounce back, from being able to offensive rebound, finish, and then defensively at the rim. I thought he was really good for us. Protected the paint. Just understanding he played a really good game and he helped our defense at a high level.
You guys didn't have a lot of lob dunks the first two games. Just talk about the impact of the lob dunks tonight.
Yeah, I thought in that first half we had 10, I think. And in the first two games, that's probably, the total that we had. So just to understand what they were taking away, I told Kai he probably had a career high at lobs. He was really in tune with D-Live and Gaff. And just, being able to get to the paint and the late pass, the lob was big for us, and our bigs finished this evening. But just being able to get the ball in the paint, we didn't turn it over. They got great hands, and anytime you drive the ball, they're swinging at it. And I thought for us to only have 8 turnovers was big.
You said they weren't giving you the lobs, but so in essence, how did you take them back? I know some of them were in transition.
Yeah, I think when you look at just being able to get the ball in the paint and Kai's ability to score in the paint, and so you have to pick your poison. If you're going to let him get going, he will take it, and then for him to be able to read that if they step up, he's able to dump it off. And I thought being the quarterback between him and Luka tonight was at a high level with the lob and being able to get others involved.
And then PJ had 10 points and 5 rebounds. I don't really think that really measures his game. How would you kind of describe the presence that he brought tonight?
Yeah, I think when you look at PJ, he's been consistent on the defensive end. And then being able to get out on the break, we had 22 fast break points, and that's something that we've talked about, in this series. But PJ's been great. He's not afraid of anything. He competes at a high level. He's been a big part of this team since he's been here, and you can see that he's comfortable.
Well, on your piggybacking on not afraid of anything, he obviously went jaw to jaw with a couple of their guys. What does it mean for your team to have a guy that's ready and
everybody's tough. Just looking at, he's competing. We're all competing for each inch to find a way to win. And, this series is going to be more mental as it goes on, because just of the physicality, the play is very physical, but the mental aspect of this series, we have to be sharp and we have to understand what's taking place. And I thought the guys did a great job of protecting one another.
Jason, to kind of further that notion, you talked about the physicality and the mentality. What was the message to your team in terms of keeping your composure when it looked like they may have lost theirs on this night?
Yeah, I think we've talked about our energy, positive energy, protecting one another, trusting each other. You can see the chemistry is at a high level on both ends. And so that's just something that we've always talked about, is making sure that we're not making a bad mistake and putting our teammates or our team in a bad situation. And I thought the guys did a good job and have done a good job of protecting one another.
We talked about it earlier about the lobs, but was it an emphasis to attack the inside and to make sure that you guys can play your game?
Yeah, we're trying, again, they're very good at swiping and making sure that you don't get to the paint. And so I thought the guys did a great job of the ball touching the paint and being able to secure it, being able to finish them, some of the plays that we've missed, some layups. But to be able to get the lob involved tonight was big on both ends, just for our energy, and then also on the defensive side that, carried over with our energy and just understanding that's been a big part of, our success offensively, is being able to play, above the rim.
Hey, Jason.
Kyrie Irving, he had 2 points in the first half. He had 21 points overall, 19 points in the second half. Just what's your assessment on his impact that he has when he can get it going at any time to help your team out?
Yeah, I think to be able to have, a guy like Kai that understands the game, I think he was plus 10 in the first half and only had 2 points. So he had a big impact without scoring. And then to be able to, he exerts a lot of energy on the defensive side of the ball. And then in the second half, to be able to do what he's done for us all season is to be able to, make, when they go on a run, he answers the call by making a big three. But I think this is calming effect. He's never in a rush. He's never going to panic. He feels that everything's under control, and the guys trust him out there on the floor, and you can see that in the second half.
Jason.
How would you rate the energy, effort, and enthusiasm of your team tonight?
Yeah, it was good. We got a long ways to go, but this is a great stepping stone for us to be able to continue to keep building. We haven't done anything. We protected home. Half of the serve is now to protect Sunday, just like we did at their place. We won that second game, so we understand what's at stake for Sunday, and now we got to go back and see how we can get better.
Jason, Luka had 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in the second quarter after leaving the game in the first. Just what can you share with us about the injury he had, and what does it say that he was able to kind of fight through it for the rest of the game?
Yeah, I think I don't know if he was hurt. I don't think he ever left the bench. Just to be able to play the minutes that he's playing, he played 40. We got his minutes down tonight. Understanding we lean on him to do a lot for us on the offense and defensive side of the ball. But I don't know if it was hurt or he was just trying to get warmed up. But he had a lot of good looks for us. He created a lot of baskets for our teammates. But again, defensively, I thought he was big. In that first half, he came up with some really incredible plays, some deflections, and he was in the right place at the right time defensively.
Coach Kidd, with Josh Green, he played more minutes tonight than both of the first 2 games combined. What did you think of his overall performance and specifically his defense on some of the Clippers stars?
Yeah, Josh was great. He was great. He stepped up. We had someone down. He stepped in and played his role and did his job tonight, and we're going to need him to do that Sunday.
Jason, you guys had 19 turnovers. What's impressed you most about your defense through these first 3 games, and how do you keep it going on Sunday?
Yeah, that's something that we've taken pride in, is trying to, be one of the best defensive teams in the league against the Clippers, who are, future Hall of Famers. They got weapons everywhere. And so we're just trying to make it tough, and we're getting our hands on some of the passes. We're rebounding the ball, which is big. You can't give them second opportunities. And so just, again, trying to make it tough. Understanding Harden, is not just going to let you do what you want. He's shooting the 3 at a high rate. We got to figure out how to slow him down a little bit. But again, we're active on the defensive end. We're going to need that for Sunday.
One last question. I know we talked about the aggressiveness on the other side of the ball, but what about the efficiency from the bigs in this game?
Yeah, our bigs were big, and I think in the first 2 games. In game 1, we didn't exist there. But I thought in the second half of game 1 we showed up, and I think since the game 1 of that second half, we've been playing Mavs basketball, and so we got to continue. This is a veteran ball club. They've been in every situation, so there's nothing for us to celebrate. We got to get back to work tomorrow and get ready for Sunday.
Quality of tonight's game and y'all standing up for your teammates.
I feel like these last 2 games have definitely set the tone of physicality. The officials aren't really calling any calls, and they're just going to let us play. So it's really going to come down to whatever team comes out and throw the first punch and is able to take a punch and throw another back. Just being able to try to be the aggressor the whole night.
Dereck, you guys had 10 dunks in the first half, 13, I think, overall for the game. What was working out there with the lobs, especially from Kyrie?
Just trusting one another. Everybody knows that if anybody steps up to them, me and Gafford are chilling behind them ready for the lob. So just being able to know that trust and chemistry is really going to take us the whole way.
Dereck, speaking of those lobs, when you finish one of those and you hear the entire American Airlines Center kind of go crazy, what is that feeling like when you're kind of walking back down the court?
That's real hard to describe. There's not a lot of feelings that can really be up to that standard. Everybody in the arena was yelling, and it just felt like everybody in there wanted us to win as much as the whole team did. So just being able to have that amount of energy behind us just makes us want to play that much harder.
Dereck, I wanted to ask, I know we talked about the physicality, but Luka, the way he kind of just ran over when things were getting out of hand to stop things, and then when he got pushed, he walked away. What does that do just as a leader in that type of scenario?
It shows how he's locked in. He's locked into winning. He's not locked into the nastiness of what can go on in the game. There's going to be a lot of times where people are going to try to get him out of his comfort zone, going to try to get him out of his rhythm, or to try to get into his head. And all he needs to do is know that his teammates got his back. We're going to step in and make sure he could cool out and make sure he go back on the other side of the play.
In the first half, when Harden had that little run of threes, Luka went to the bench and called out to the coaches, "Give me Harden."
Yep.
What does that say about the defensive mentality that it seems like you all have adopted as a unit in this series?
I think we all can see it. I think we all see that when we're on the defensive side, there's a different look in everybody's eye. It's like being aggressive and being the aggressor, even though that they have the ball. We know what they're good at, we know what they're bad at, and we're just trying to be able to put them in spots where really hard spots where they could either don't like the shot they're in, or it's a really contested shot.
Dereck, tonight, the first two games are kind of light for you scoring. Tonight, you're able to go for double figures off the bench. What do you think clicked for you this evening?
Just being able to have good teammates to find me when I'm open. There's going to be people who's going to step up to try to stop Kyrie and Luka, and that's where I can just feed off of. Either dump offs, lobs, or putbacks. There's just ways that I can affect the game.
Dereck, we obviously know Sunday's going to be another intense battle. What level of mental focus is it going to take for you guys to get the job done on Sunday?
Just being able, a lot, honestly, being able to be poised. They're great players. They're going to go on runs. They're going to go on streaks where they make points or where we can't make anything. And we got to be able to be together. We got to be able to know that no matter what's going on in the court, we got to figure out what we need to do and execute.
Dereck, when you think back to the start of the year, could you win a game like this without hitting a bunch of threes, without Luka and Kyrie having huge point totals, one that's based off the defense, off the physicality?
It would definitely make the game a lot rougher. I'm definitely not going to say that we want to win the game, but it would be a dogfight. I feel like each game in this playoff series is going to be a dogfight, and so on and so forth. So being able to know that if it's going to be a fight, we're going to come out swinging.
Dereck, now that PJ's been on the team for a couple months now, and tonight, super physical, he was involved in a couple altercations. He ended up getting ejected. What does PJ kind of being a dog do for y'all as a team?
It rouses us up. He's like the legs and he's like the mouth of the team. Being able to know that he got our back, he's talking on defense, and as soon as we are in transition, he's running the floor. He's one of our, if not the best defensive player we have. So when he's on their best their best offensive player, and he's getting it in their head, he's making it difficult for them, that just makes everybody else want to step up and be able to play harder.
Dereck, do you think this level of defense is sustainable night after night?
Oh, it's really just going to come down to us being disciplined, us being locked into each play, because that's what the playoffs is possession by possession.
Dereck, what does it say about Daniel to overcome his tough first two games, overcome the back spasms? And he had a couple of highlights out there, especially at that block on Paul George.
It just shows his grit. It just shows how much he wants to win. Some people are banged up, some people are going through things off the court, but whenever it comes to us being in the locker room, us being together, that's whenever we're all together. We all trust one another. We all have a lot of great chemistry, and we being able to know that we're going out there and we're playing for something. We're not going there playing out for each other.
Can you talk about the enthusiasm and the effort and the energy that you guys exuded tonight? The whole arena was electric. How did you feed off of that, and how will you ride that wave of momentum?
Just being able to know that we got one another. No matter if the arena's full, if the arena's empty, we're playing basketball. We go out there, we have each other's backs. We go out there and make sure that no matter what's going on, no matter who has a run or not, we're going to be able to know that we got to do what we got to do. We got to play defense, we got to get out, we got to run, and we got to execute on the offensive end. And that just comes down to simple basketball.
Dereck, we know that Tyson Chandler and you have been at the hip pretty much the whole season. How much has he helped you in your first playoff series?
Words can't even describe how much he's helped me. Being able to know that I got to focus on the court whenever there's so much things going on off the court. That's kind of the hardest part. I love playing basketball each day, but it's hard to wake up whenever there's a lot of things going on in the off-court life. But he's been able to help me keep my head on my two shoulders, help me stay focused, and he's just someone I can go and talk to no matter what the situation is. And he's definitely been a humongous help. Appreciate y'all.